Welcome back to the cabin, guys. Today, another nice hot day, and I just wanted to show you how to make a really nice salve to have on hand for winter time. I know it's hard to believe winter is coming. We're into the first few days of fall here, and it's about 40 degrees Celsius with the Humidex. I want to show you how I make a really nice salve from spruce pitch. Stay tuned. So earlier in the season, I collected a bunch of spruce pitch, and my goal was to make this salve. I never really got around to it. It is a really nice salve, and the recipe is very simple. It only requires 3 ingredients. The recipe itself comes from a book that's my personal favorite called The Boreal Herbal, and it has lots of good information in it about the things you can do with either wild edibles or wild products in your woodlands. It's a really easy recipe. Basically, all you need is half a cup of spruce pitch, 30 milliliters of beeswax, basically when it's 30 mils when it's melted out, and 1 cup of olive oil. I also have little tiny containers that we'll be using to pour in the salve when it's finished being made. The other thing to have on hand is a double boiler. You don't want to scorch your salve, so what I have is an old-fashioned double boiler, and today we're going to make it over the fire. Since we'll be making fire today, I want to start the fire using a Fresnel lens. A Fresnel lens, as you remember, is a magnifying glass. And since the sun is pretty strong this time of day, it's between 12 and 2 o'clock, we'll be able to get a point of light through the Fresnel lens, start a piece of char cloth, and start our fire. Let's do it. So I have my little nest of tinder right down here, and here I have a little piece of char cloth. Shouldn't take too long to get ignited. So basically we're going to see that little ray of sunshine. We're going to focus it in on the corner of the char cloth here. Oh, and we're already getting smoke. Oh, it's lighting up. So I'm going to put this in here. See that smoke coming nicely? And it's lit up. Let's bring it over. Wow, that worked really well. Put some sticks on there. Ooh-wee. Wow. See how easy that was? Just gonna keep nursing this fire here. And build it up so that we can work on making our salve. So the fire's going really nicely there. I'm getting some hot coals. I've just thrown in my little Excel mint tin there, you can see, and that's we're making some more char cloth. So that'll cook away, and we'll get going on making the spruce salve. So I'll just show you what I have here for my materials. I've got a double boiler here, so there's water in the bottom. That just nests in there. I've got beeswax. I just got this from the local health food store. A cup of olive oil. And here is some spruce pitch that I collected earlier in the season. And I grabbed a few of these little containers here, I think from the dollar store or something, because I'm going to be pouring the salve into these little tiny pots. If I have extra, which I will, I'm going to put it in the cup. So I've let the flames die back a little bit, and I've put a grate on some of the wood there. Just going to heat up the water. And the first thing you need to do is heat up the olive oil with the spruce pitch just to melt it all together. So we'll put that in there. And of course you want to be really careful because this will get extremely hot. Whoa, pitch is already melting in the bag here. This is a half a cup of spruce pitch. And I should mention, the pot that you're using will get kind of messy, so you may want to keep that in mind when you're doing this. Just have a little stick of wood here that I'm going to sort of stir it around. Take a little bit of time to melt, so you'll just have to be patient. Stir it periodically here. Remember, it's just going to heat pretty gently from underneath with the water. All right, so everything's melted. We've got all the spruce pitch mixed in with the hot olive oil. So now I'm going to add in some beeswax, and you can see I've got a little bit of beeswax here. So put it in little chunks, and we'll melt that in slowly. There we go. And you want to stir it not too often, but just enough to kind of get things melting properly. Just popped on an oven mitt here and opened my little char cloth making container there, the Excel mint tin, and looks like we've got a good bunch of char cloth. So never waste a good fire. You can always do something else with it, and in this case I made some fresh char cloth. So I melted the first batch of beeswax, and I think I want mine a little bit thicker. So I'm going to add a little bit more to it. Hopefully I don't regret that. I just worry it's going to be a little bit too runny. Hard to tell though, right, when it's all this scalding hot. So let's add a little bit more here. We'll melt that out, and then we're going to pour into the jars next. Well, there it is, all done. Smells wonderfully sprucey. So, I mean, one thing you can do, because there'll be little bits and bobs of spruce in there, is put it through some cheesecloth, or I don't know, if you have one of those pre-filters for sap, you can pop it through one of those. I couldn't find mine right now, so mine's just going to be as is. And we're just going to pour it into these little tiny containers that I have here, and I've got a bigger one there at the end. Again, these little guys are from the dollar store, and the bigger one, I think that's just from the grocery store, where you can get your ways to package food, your lunches, things like that. This is the part where it gets dicey. Whoa. Looks like I'll have just about enough for these guys, and I'll just have the bigger jar to get the rest. Oh, perfect. And that's got the chunks in it, the ones that I actually wanted to filter out. So that'll settle to the bottom, and I'll have a good bit of salve there on the top. Okay. So we'll let that cool now, and then we'll put the lids on. So it's a beautiful amber color. Really like that. You can see spots where it's cooled already. It's sort of got that little savvy sort of texture to it, kind of oily. So we'll just let these be, and I'll show you what it looks like when they're all cooled down. Now they're completely cooled down. You can see this last one, of course I didn't strain all the junk out of it, so it's just settled at the bottom, which is fine. I really wish I'd brought my my pre-filter for my maple syrup making project. That would have been helpful. So let's take a look at the salve. So we'll take a look at this one. So you can see it's very smooth and creamy. You just take a little bit of it there, and you sort of massage it into your hands, and it's just lovely. It's a bit oily, obviously, but it does absorb into your skin. And it feels a bit greasy at first, but trust me, it does soak in. Very soothing for your hands, especially, you know, for the winter time when they're out and they're exposed and they're getting cracked. This is great. And also in a pinch, I'm sure this would work to help as a fire starter as well. So obviously wax, you could probably even make a few of these into candles. They'd smell lovely. So I'm really pleased with this. It's going to be excellent balm to have on your hands for the wintertime. I'd probably add a total of 60 milliliters of beeswax to have a little bit thicker salve there, but you can add as much as you want. You can add, you know, what the recipe calls for, or a little bit more depending on the texture that you wish. Make sure to rub it into your hands really well so that it absorbs properly. And I can snap my fingers there and it's not overly greasy because it's already absorbed into my skin. Wonderfully hydrating and medicinal balm. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And yeah, the winter spruce salve is great to carry around in your pack. As you know, the spruce is antiseptic, antibacterial, disinfectant, so it's great to have put on your hands and soothe those chapped hands when you're outside in the winter. All right, hope you have a great week. Take care.